This is X Doggy.
Yo, Ghana, this your boy Brainy Beats of High Grade Family.
Yeah, man, my name Rowan Unstoppable, baddest them ever seen. Style forever clean.
What are you watching? SkankingVibez TV.
SkankingVibez.
SkankingVibez TV.
Representing SkankingVibez.
Don't flick it.
You see it?
Yeah, man.
Big team.
Yeah, man.
I feel like skank.
Alright, beautiful people, it's once again SkankingVibez TV show here with your regular Nodwela, aka the Skanker MC. Today I'm with somebody I know you're shocked to see him on the show or to see him on the reggae scene. He's been in the industry for some time now. He's switched, you know, but don't worry, we will get there. The interview is gonna be hot, I tell you. Before we start rolling, Charlie, we've been having some chit chat about some things going on in the industry, and I tell you, you're not ready for this interview today.
I feel like skank.
Yeah, man, this is the high priest of Gamashi. Call listen music. SkankingVibez, you don't know. Yeah, listen to SkankingVibez and watch SkankingVibez, car. You don't know. SkankingVibez are the best. You see me, I say, boom.
I feel like skank.
The show is SkankingVibez. I have the man always on fire, man. Both social media, when he's on the mic, his videos, everything fire. I don't know where he's getting the energy from. I mean, it makes a lot of sense when he writes on Facebook, and I tell you, like when you check out the comments, it seems 90% of the comments sides with him, and I don't know the 10%. I don't know where they are going to, so we'll be going into all that. I have David Oscar Dogbe, aka David Oscar, on the show with me today. Yeah, Rasta.
Why should I care about the world around? Why should I dream when you are here with me?
I hope you are ready for the interview.
Yeah, you know, let's talk. That's what I do.
Rasta born ready, you see me? All right, all of us, as we were coming up, we knew you as a comedian way back on Vice at Laugh a Minute, you know, and I thought when you switch from comedy, you'll be going into movies or something else, and all of a sudden, reggae. I didn't even think when you come into music it will be reggae. I thought some Afrobeats, hip life, hip hop sort of thing. How did it all happen?
Well, I think that, you know, we mature. Experiences happen to us, and sometimes if you are artistically inclined enough, you can turn some of those experiences into works of art. So in my case, it became music. You know, when you get to a point and you feel like you cannot express yourself comedically anymore, and you have what it takes to do it musically. So that was what happened to me. I got trained in the School of Performing Arts, University of Ghana. You know, I did theater arts, dance studies, music. So what I've become today is not radically different from what I trained to be in school. You know, except that sometimes the people, and when I say the people, I refer to the audience, they have a certain tendency of stereotyping artists a lot in our system. So when they discover you as, for example, a comedian, they expect you to remain there. You know, so when you try to express yourself in another way, then it becomes a problem for them. You know, but I think that it's going to take education. You know, and so I appreciate this platform because it's a medium to try and send out some education to some people who may be listening to us right now. You know, yeah. So it doesn't mean that if somebody is a comedian, the person cannot sing. If he can't sing, he doesn't have a singing talent, that's fine. But if the person is an artist, an all-round artist, and he can do whatever, he can express him or herself in whatever way, I think the person should be supported to do that.
Wow, that's good. That's good. And this is what I want to ask again. Are you going to do comedy again, or never in your life you'll be doing comedy again?
Oh, I mean, you never say never. You know, that's not a very good posture. So I won't say never, but whenever I get any gig and it's rewarding enough, why not? Because what people also have to understand is that comedy is not just an art form, it's business. You know, so now if you want an artist to at any given time put a hold on whatever art form that he's expressing and then come to another place to express himself that way, and it's not rewarding, then there's no motivation. You know, so for me, I've always maintained that if the price is right, I can be a comedian. You know, music is what takes the bulk of my time. You know, like when I sit to create, I won't try to sound funny to anybody. I want to put my thoughts and my consciousness in a piece of sound. You know, yeah. So A business. Which met you
Okay, so when you are writing a script for your comedy show and also writing lyrics to sing as a reggae musician, which one do you find difficult?
Okay, I would say that personally, from my experience, look, it's not, comedy is not a joke thing, you know, and comedians will tell you that you need to be intelligent to be able to show the people the funny side of what they do. So I have a lot of respect for people who are able to make other people laugh, because that's quite difficult to do, you know, that's quite difficult to do. Not to say that if you really, really want to write conscious music, you can have it on a silver platter. You need to be a whole package on your own and have something to share with the people to begin with, you know. So that also that also has its own methods. But if I'm to compare the two, for me personally, I feel like you need a certain extra acumen to be able to be a very, very good comedian, you know. And in this sense, I want to big up the likes of Augustine Dennis and you know, that guy writes. You know, he writes. He's not a very popular comedian within our mainstream, but I think that his time will come, you know. So any day, Charlie, comedy is a hard art form. It's a difficult art form. So when you see your comedians out there, please salute them, give them respect, because on that front, this is the explanation I can give to it. But on another front, you would realize that, for example, if I have a piece of song and it's a hit song, okay, I can perform that song 10 times in different locations, right, and I will receive the same kind of jive or vibe. But if I have a joke which is a hit joke, I cannot perform that same joke in 10 different places, particularly if it's a hit joke. Because if it's a hit, what will make it a hit? It's a hit because people know it. So if you go to another place and you try to repeat that same joke, people, that's where you're at that. Without them knowing how difficult it is to even sit down to try and come up with a joke to begin with, you know. So again, massive respect to all our comedians in the industry working hard for themselves and, you know, repping Ghana large out there.
When you started growing locks until now, do you face some of this trauma or some of this disadvantage as a human? They see you in a different way or they portray you in a different way, being it your area or your workplace or your everyday life activity?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a switch, right? For me, it's not a switch, it's an expression, you know, because this was always hiding in there, but it needed time to blossom, it needed time to come out. So to those who didn't know this aspect of me, they would see it as a switch. But to those who are very familiar with this aspect of me, they would see that I'm digging deeper, you know. Of course, you know, our society, or let me say it this way, people with dreadlocks are confronted with a lot of ups and downs in our society. Those who would view you in a certain light do. Those who would, I would say, imagine all sort of things, you know, about you will do. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that this thing is a crown, you know, and you know, whatever you depict wearing this thing is a message to whoever is watching. So in my case, I think that this even makes me a lot more responsible, because now when you appear like this, even if they don't know you, just for the mere fact that you have dreadlocks, they are watching you.
Everybody,
you know, it doesn't make me, it doesn't, you know, cower me into a corner or anything, but you know, it helps me to express myself in a more deep, conscious way, you know. So the problems, Nadia, I feel, say, you know, it would come because, of course, not everybody in society is educated, you know. So some of them see you and they try to measure you or weigh you based on their own perceptions and premises and all of that. But at the end of the day, those who are lucky enough to come close get to experience you on a whole new level with a whole new vibe, you know. And I think that whatever it is that you're trying to express is you, and don't be afraid of who you are, you know. If you are afraid that somebody will think this way, so then I can't be myself or I can't be this way, then it is you who has the problem, you know. You just have to learn to be yourself. Becoming this way too made me lose a lot of friends. I'll be very honest with you, because there are certain people who are very close to me some time past, but obviously some of them, the vibe that I get, because they really do not know or understand what I'm about, you know, and I'm not about to explain myself to anybody too, you know. So because of that, you know, certain gaps came in, but it's all right. I mean, you make some, you lose some, and you go forward, so it's all cool. Yeah, you know, as far as my family is concerned, or those closer to me are concerned, I think they've been very supportive. You know, they just allow me to express myself the way. Once they know, or once they, you know, they are convinced that I know what I'm doing, they just leave me alone. You know, and I think that's the same way I'll raise my kids. You know, yeah.
Do you remember the first reggae song you wrote, or when you entered the booth first, the first song you recorded?
Yeah, I remember. It's called Mona Lisa, funny. Anyway, that was the first song I wrote on a reggae rhythm, you know, and I must say that during those days, I didn't even know the artist in question. I only saw the name somewhere and I saw a tune and I was driving to it. The next thing I knew, I had gotten a concept on that rhythm, and that became Mona Lisa. And that was, I think, pressure bus pipe.
You still can vibe on. You still can remember the Mona Lisa and
yeah, of course. Get to be friends before you get loving. Better way to stay in together. One thing is for sure, learn to love yourself. Sure is way to love and keep her. Found out, but took a long span. It took a lot of painful lessons. And no, me no care about I hate I go say, 'cause I'm giving her all the tender kisses in the morning, loving her every other day. Mona Lisa, giving her all the tender kisses. And you know the funny thing? Me told you we no, me record the way. I think about a year or so later, and me Lucy girl now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a life story.
Of your videos too on YouTube, you know, Onyamiom,
yep.
Levity, and some of the couple of songs. When you came into the reggae industry, are you getting the support from the industry players? I mean, the DJs, the promoters, and all that.
What a question. You see, maybe because of my mindset, I did not set out to look for the support of the industry, so to speak. Maybe because of my mindset, because I think I've matured to a point where I know whatever I'm looking for, I can give it to myself. Nobody out there is waiting to give it to me. It's not like somebody is waiting to volunteer. Oh, Oscar, we've seen you are doing reggae music, beautiful, where's your album, let's go and play it. They don't do that. They hardly go out of their way to pick your song and play because you are David Oscar. In my experience, unless you are giving them something, they don't even look at you.
Something as in what?
Oh, payola. I mean, let's speak plainly. What must I say? Unless you are on like that with them, you're on a certain level with them. I'm not trying to say everybody is like that, you know, but a lot of people are like that. So it makes the job a bit difficult in a way. In what way? Like you look at this and you're like, okay, if you cannot afford to, because obviously, how many times can you afford to pay payola and to who? If you cannot afford to be doing that almost every other time, do you also sit back and say, because I can't afford this, I won't do the music? You see?
I see.
So in my case, I don't wait for somebody to say, oh, I want to promote you or this. If I can afford it at any point and I can afford to say thank you for what you did for me or for something you've done for me, I will do so. You know, but personally, I don't think that it is proper for an artist to try to induce an airplay for his or her song, you know, that way. Unless you have a certain good budget, maybe you are backed by a certain good record label, or you have your own money, and you want to pay for commercial rates for your songs to be played, fine, it is business. If you generate hits that way and you are getting gigs, you will also charge for it, so it's fine. But when you want to look at it from a long-term point of view, right, and you know that this is something I want to spend the rest of my life doing, ask yourself, how often can you be paying payola? This is me, this is my work, this is my art. So I will do it the best possible way that I can, based on my own strengths and on my own pace. If somebody discovers it and it's beautiful to the person gives me a hand, God bless you. You know? That is why I'm very grateful to every person out there who have gone out of his way to help me promote my song or my video on any platform at all. There are people like that who have held me like, but you see, it's not enough. I mean, the more platforms you get, the more the work goes further, you know. But I'm not also going to sit here and wait for that to happen before I would churn out. Me, I don't do commercial music, if you know. I do conscious music. Yes, I'm getting some advice from some industry people that maybe I should do a few commercial songs just to, yeah, but well, we'll see. I mean, you never say never. It's something I may do, but personally, I feel like the world is so big, right? And the kind of or let me say, the level of appreciation for commercial, for conscious music out there is bigger. You know, so if you sit here in Ghana, you think that Ghana music industry is all there is to music, then I personally feel that you are very limited in your scope. You know, Kofi B passed a few days ago, and it's funny, I went online to check out his music, and most of his major works are all on somebody's YouTube channel, GH Premier.
Look at that.
Is it GH Premier or GH Prime? Something like that. You know? So you see that even just this past generation didn't have the benefit of social media like we do. So in my day and age, I don't see why I should sit here and wait for some, you know, a systemic canker like what we have here, whereby, you know, people don't really discover music. The only way to take advantage of people's work, you know. So if you're not really paying them to play your music, they don't really want to help you, as it were. Why should I wait for such a system when I can use social media to try and reach out? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
So, I mean, if there are any lessons within that sphere to learn, yes, I'll be learning them as the time, you know, as we go by. So, I would say to young artists of today, you know, don't wait for the media. Charlie, use your social media. That's why your social media is there. What must say? And there are a lot of platforms on social media that you can plug yourself into. I have a song called Why Should I Care?
Why Should I Care?
Yeah, there's a video of it. This song was written and produced by a 65-year-old Canadian man called Joe Pipino.
Wow.
Right? And guess where we met? We met on Drupal. Drupal is an online platform for musicians. Okay, it's like Facebook, but it's strictly for musicians. That's where we met. And he heard one of my songs I released, Never Shut Them. He listened to it and he said, man, I like your voice. Can we work? I said, why not? The next thing I knew, this man was sending me lyrics and notations, and you know, that's how they work. It took time, but finally the product came out, and the song is a very beautiful song. You know, that's what happens with social media. I didn't pay a dime for it.
Nothing.
You know what I mean? So it's a lesson, and I think that if I can pass on this education to somebody watching me right now, Charlie, don't wait for this Ghana media people. Unless you are giving them money, they don't want to help you. So use your social media the best possible way you can, okay? And look up to Jah, only Jah.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Right. Look up to Jah, only Jah. Personally, do you have any problem with some of these industry players? Because, you know, somebody out there who might not know the right story, reading things from your Facebook timeline. There were some time ago you were bashing Shatawale so hard, and later on to some other people. Just, I think last week or so, it was a comment Lagazee made on his show, and you gave him fire. Do you have any problem with some of these people?
Well, personally, I don't have any problem. But you see, it's a free world, one. So when you distribute energies, when I say you distribute energies, you could distribute energy by the way you talk or by the way you post or certain things you say. When you distribute energies, those energies don't get lost. They merely get transferred from you to another. And if, you know, if it's like bouncing a ball against a wall, if it goes wherever it goes, there are semantics and languages. If 10 people heard you say something or heard you speak, all these 10 people would have their own version of the story you told. What must say? So for me, I feel like just as Lagazee was bold enough to come online to express his view, you know, and that's his right. Nobody can begrudge him on that level. I equally, you know, decided to take the challenge because I'm a reggae dancehall artist too in Ghana. And you know, the way he came across to me as though he was disrespecting every you know, the hard work, disrespecting and demeaning the hard work of artists. Look, let me tell you something. All the fingers are not equal. Okay, somebody will make it today, another person will make it tomorrow, somebody will not even make it at all, another person will make it next year. The only thing is to understand that there are seasons and times. So you cannot compare somebody's success or somebody's growth rate to another person's and try to demean this other person because you don't see this person on this other level. You don't know the person's story. You don't know what he's been through. You don't know what he's going through. You don't know the challenges this person is facing. So to speak broadly, you don't know the challenges, personal challenges of Ghanaian reggae dancehall artists. No. Even in a personal capacity as Lagazee, some of us who have had to deal with you on some levels, we've had the impression that unless we are giving you money, you don't want to help, which is all fair and good. So now if you are this kind of person, then one day you get up and say Ghanaian reggae dancehall artists, disrespecting the likes of Rocky Dawouni, disrespecting the likes of Black Prophet, disrespecting the likes of Fifi Salah, disrespecting the likes of Stoneboy, disrespecting the likes of Dr. Nilante, Shasha Male, who, by the way, I have a record with Shasha Male which will be out soon. You know, I mean, I think that dude, it's either you are looking for attention for yourself or you are not thinking, because you can't generalize this from the beginning by saying Ghanaian reggae dancehall artists and then along the line single out J.D. Robbie and Black Rasta, who to me are very bad examples anyway. Why do I say they are bad examples? Bad examples, not in the wrong light. Let me dwell on J.D. Robbie first. J.D. Robbie has had the backing of this Empower project, like a label, a well-established label, thanks to Mr. Easy, that is pushing his work. Do you think if I had the chance of being on a similar thing, my music would not be all over the place by now? I have videos. I don't have I have videos on my YouTube channel, which is there. Those who have discovered my art have played my music videos around, you know, on their channels, and some of them have sent me videos. I appreciate that. I can't pay you for it because I don't have. You know what I mean? So now, if we are all struggling to make it happen in this market, in a market where people don't really want to go out of their way to help, unless you are really paying them for it, and Lagazee is a big example of that, then this same Lagazee sit out there and you try to demean the hard work of reggae dancehall artists in Ghana. I think it's not fair, because you haven't offered any help in your personal capacity to any artist. If you have, come and show us. You keep showing us pictures of when you and Stonebwoy started. Why is he where he is and why are you where you are? Why is Stonebwoy not sorting you out on the regular? Because maybe for all you know, you haven't really been part of his personal struggle. What must I say? So if the station you work for, they don't even pay you, how much payola do you suppose that artists like us can organize and pay you to turn your life around? So my friend Charlie, if you are not helping, don't come and disrespect our work. Same way you expect artists to hold you in high esteem, you know? You have to show leadership. You have to show that respect first to artists, because if you talk like this, if you make loose comments like this, then don't worry when we also make loose comments and try to address you in that same vein. You know, because I'm not about to take any disrespect from any radio presenter or any artist or any whatever it is, because you don't help. If you don't help me, don't come and criticize my work. If you are helping me progress, then you have the right to channel, you know, to try to channel what I do. Oh, Tale, David, maybe you can do it this way. But who are more now? What somebody say, see and I say, Master Fioko Kwani.
Wow.
I feel like skank.
Lagazee, we all know, has been in the industry for some time now. He's been with artists, helped some of the artists, and later on they became big. They are not even minding him anymore. They are also demanding money from him to do some of these things for him, or even promote his radio show. And some of, we all know he has the Lagazee Sounds International and all that. What if these are some of the reasons why he's making those comments? What would you say about that?
Well, you can still, you know, have a very decent way of channeling your comments so that it doesn't come across as you are disrespecting everybody because party A, party B, party C, or some people might have mistreated you along the line somewhere. So now your bitterness is a general thing. Now you are bitter towards everybody. No, it doesn't work like that. What must I say? We now often be bold enough and call the person out and say, you, we did this and this for you. What have you done for us? Even when we come and say, help us promote our works, you ask us for money. No, he always wants to go and pass it through somebody. You know? Shouts to Lombini. Yeah, he always wants to go and pass it through somebody, for somebody to come and say, Lagazee. Me, I feel like he has a lot of hard work to do to improve his gap and everything as a presenter. Because sound system culture, and it's not radio presenting song. Some people radio presenter there, you need to have the gap. Maybe when I listen to him, I don't feel him. So I've stopped listening to his show. I don't even listen to his show. He doesn't even promote me to begin with. So why do I even have to waste my time? And which serious show gets taken off a Saturday slot and pushed to a Sunday night? Tell me, show me one. DJ Black is doing all the reggae dancehall, and DJ Hagba, they do it Monday to Friday or Saturday. So it's understandable. You know, and there's a dream. I can't say near boy a bit my appreciate sound system culture now can because maybe to sound system culture doesn't feed anybody. It doesn't feed me, it doesn't feed anybody. You know?
Why should I care what all the people say? You're in my life. That's all I need today.
I think the right thing to do now is to come together as reggae dancehall industry players and push this thing together. I mean, that is the only way we can go forward, or we can stand against some of the big industries in other countries. You spoke about Shashamali. You mentioned Shashamali, and you spoke about. You mentioned some works coming up. Would you like to talk about that?
Oh yeah. I mean, whether I talk about it or it will come out, it's a very beautiful project. You've heard it.
Yeah, I've heard it.
You've heard it. It's not out anywhere. It's only on my phone. Yeah, but I like to send big shouts to Nana Finn, our very own Nana Finn. Nana Finn was the one who did the production, and the mixing and mastering was done in Berlin by Somov. So it's a very clean record. In fact, this is one record that I can hit my chest and say, yeah, Charlie, watch out for this one. I mean, in terms of the sound, in terms of the quality of production, I would say that this is a first among equals. So I look forward to it. I don't know when it's going to be out. This is just a precursor for people to know that there's a record like that. There's something coming, from that line. But I cannot give any timelines or put any timelines to it. So it will be out when it will be out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the person who produced the song and where it was mastered. I personally listened to the song, and after listening to the song, I was like, wow, is this Ghanaian reggae? It is serious. When you listen to the production, the lyrics, I mean, it is top notch, dope. How much did you spend on this project?
Hey, Charlie, beg. Hey, already. I don't want to. It's for me to know and for them to try and find out. But Charlie, trust me, the song is not out, but we've sunk some things into it. We've sunk some money into the work. I don't think that these things come on a silver platter. And me, I don't even live in Tema. And I feel live in Tema. I live in Koforidua. So Shamali lives in somewhere in the eastern region too, like in Sam thereabout. So now I have to come from Koforidua, pick him up. We go to Tema. Look at that. The amount, and we went to the studio not less than 4 times, different days, by the way. So I'm not about to go into it, but just calculate it in your head, and then see where you get to.
I've listened to the production, and I've calculated everything already, and it makes sense to me though, because this is a masterpiece. They can play it anywhere in the world, reggae platforms and all that. I mean, we can match this production to the productions from Jamaica, from UK, wherever. You see, you mentioned Koforidua.
Yeah.
Most of us, or some of us, know you've been into farming for some time now. You are doing animal farming, and I would say that's a positive movement. That is the right to go, because farming is the future. And I've seen some of the animals you have in there. How is the farm doing?
Yeah, it's small scale, as you can see, but it's progressive. So small. I think we started with about 2 rabbits, no 4. Yeah. I think 2 female, and when I was leaving the house last month, there must have been like almost about 20.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, but I haven't been a month, so I don't know. But the family is taken care of. So then we've got some birds, to just a handful of birds. So small. Yeah, and then I try to cultivate some cash crops as well, some plantain, some pepper. No beans. I have passion fruits too. I don't know. There's apple, sweet apple, sugar apple. Yeah. Maybe one day you should just find time and we'll arrange. Yeah, you can just go and check it out.
I'll try.
Yeah.
Come on. Wow.
So small. I mean, and I encourage people to do that.
Yeah, that's
like if you have some bits of space around the place, don't waste it. Just cultivate some few things, just even if it's just to keep your kitchen going, not necessarily to even feed the whole community, but just to keep your kitchen going. Once in a while you get some pepper for the kitchen, once in a while you get some plantain for the kitchen. That level it will help.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's positive. Samini also is into farming now, and now here is David Oscar. I mean, I urge everybody, like, when you go to the Volta region, so we have this reggae dancehall artist, Bongo. He's also into full-time farming now. He left the radio presenting job and is into full-time farming. And
they are not paying you. Why are you still on air? You they air. They don't pay you.
Yeah.
You still they air.
Some way.
Why?
Some way.
Are you mad?
All right, bro. So I think we are coming to an end of the interview, but before we go, we have a segment called Who Inspires You More?
Okay.
And today we have 2 reggae singers on there, Romain Virgo and Christopher Martin.
Oh, man.
Yes, these 2 guys. Who inspires you when you are listening to?
The difficult choice to make is that I love both of them. Okay. However, because I discovered Romain Virgo first, I would say I started getting inspired by him. way before I chanced on Christopher Martin. Yeah, with his classic hit. If you don't, people love it, exactly. So, yeah. I think that answers your question, right? Yeah.
All right, man. So I would say Romain Virgo inspired him more than Christopher Martin. He's not saying Romain Virgo is better. He's a small boy. Yeah, small boy. He got married recently, and on his birthday, his wife gave birth to twins. I mean,
that's a funny face. Right?
Yeah, yeah, man.
His wife pulled a funny face on him right there.
Let's not forget this. I mean, you've had problems with funny face before, right?
Oh, not really. I mean, you would call it Bejimie era. You know, when I say Bejimie, you know, when you're growing up, sometimes you have some silly, But with me, then funny face, we're cool like that. We don't have any problems. Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw your video and some of the things you said about him. I mean, it's positive, and funny face also is a positive dude, always making the kids happy and all that. So
he's a real guy. He's a real person. That's what I like about him. That's what you don't get from a lot of people in this industry. They are not real. They put on faces, or they put up faces. That's something you don't get with funny face. He's just real like that. Whether you like him for who he is, that's it. If you don't like him too, then you don't like him for who he is. That's him.
It's simple like
it's
that.
as simple as that.
Wow. Positive. I would like to say a very big thank you to you, David Oscar, for honoring our invitation to be on the show SkankingVibez here today, and I'll give you the opportunity to sell yourself. Sure. To the people out there, your social media handles, some people you need to thank and all that. Then we move out. Yeah.
Okay, well, let me send the audience to my social media. I'm David Oscar GH everywhere. Okay, I'm even on LinkedIn. Okay. Just look for David Oscar on LinkedIn. So on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Where else? Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, and then my music is on. My music is everywhere. Everywhere streamable. iTunes, Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, Audiomack. The full album is on Audiomack. Cosmical Vibrations on Audiomack. Look for it. My videos are on my YouTube. Look for David Oscar Dogbe on YouTube. Yeah, and check out my videos.
They should subscribe to the YouTube.
Please subscribe. That's very important too. And recommend my channel too to other people. If you find something you like there, please don't enjoy it alone. Try and send it across to another person to also send it across to another person, and then the work will keep spreading like that. Okay. Thank you so much. So when you connect with me on social media via this platform, let me know that you watch the show, and this is how you connected. Okay, big up yourselves.
Yeah, man. Blessed, and give thanks. Yeah, big up, my man. Yo, this is the SkankingVibez show. Every time we make sure we bring you the best on the show. Today we had David Oscar on the show, and you heard everything that he said. They are making sense. It is right. You hardly find people like this to tell you the truth in your face. This industry, people are just wearing masks. If you never know, they will use you, dump you, and you blame yourself. And I don't know, you blame some witches in your village that, hey, you're my MCO, but this is the truth, man. We need to wake up as a people in this country. Let's support ourselves. Let's hold our hand together and make Ghana a beautiful place for other people elsewhere to have that love for us and purchase our music. Yes, it is an Odwela, and I'm out of here. See you next time on the show. Blessed.
Nothing gonna rain on you, I will wait you up. I'm gonna teach you Rasta love. Everything I teach you now, hope you overstand. Sit and learn the Rasta love. If you do not understand, ask me every time. Me ready teach you Rasta love. Me ready teach you Rasta love, girl. Blessed love, one and all. David Oscar in the building. This is SkankingVibez. Blessed love.
SkankingVibez.
I feel like skank.